All righty, we have a schedule. Landry Locker, Cody Stutes with you. Long time no see. Shout out to everyone. Thank you very much for partaking in the conversation with Frank Ross. We talked some football, and we also were able to, as a SNL Houston football locker room, Cody Stutes community, we were able to donate 4 figures to the cause, and he was appreciative, and we're very appreciative as well. So we appreciate y'all for showing out in that. We do have a schedule, though. One of the most magical times of the year. The vision is in front of us. We know how the Texans will start the season, and let's just start at week 1 at Los Angeles against the Rams. This is one of the matchups that I'm most excited for, Cody. The elements of this matchup pretty clear. Matthew Stafford is CJ Stroud's favorite quarterback. I think he's showed him a hell of a lot of love. Last year when they had the practice, he talked about him being one of his favorite guys, asked him for advice, said he didn't want to fan out. And now you have a situation where Sean McVay, one of his understudies, Nick Caley, is going to be calling plays against him. His first time calling plays in the NFL. So that is a hell of a chess match that I'm really excited for.
Yeah, that's it. This is a tough one for the Texans to start with. Just, the West Coast trips are a little bit tougher than some of the other ones for Central Time Zone ones. And then the Nick Caley, Sean McVay relationship is a very intriguing one for this one. You have to imagine McVay's got maybe some idea of how Caley wants to approach these things. Stafford's a really good quarterback to test the defense right away. This isn't the, super loaded Rams where they were, clicking on every cylinder from the past couple of years. Remains to be seen exactly how Devontae Adams fits as he sort of replaces Cooper Kupp. But man, that's a front seven. That is a tough front seven for a brand new offensive line and a brand new offensive scheme to go against. And that's where my big worry is in this matchup as far as an early season matchup is. Man, that's a defensive line that can give you some problems. And this is going to be a brand new offensive line that right off the bat's got a big, tough challenge for them on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of thing. I don't know when the right time is to play the Rams. Matthew Stafford, you brought it up. He does tend to get banged up. The other thing is, it's going to be a big challenge for the secondary. If you're talking about kind of a grudge match, Devontae Adams really his only bright spot as a Jet came against the Texans. So we're going to get to see what that looks like. There might be an extra chip on the shoulder of Kamari Lassiter. So you have that matchup. And it's going to be an exciting one. That's one of my favorite matchups on the schedule. And they started off right away. 325. Am I going to get the Tom Brady call? Am I going to get the Tom Brady call? I am not.
You're not getting Tom Brady. It's a CBS game at 325.
So I'm getting Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, perhaps.
Not necessarily, because you could get Jim and Tony on the best game at the noon slate, and then you could get JJ.
Are we going to get JJ's first game in this? Because I think it is going to be JJ or Nantz. That their teams.
Yeah,
but that's just another element to look forward to. So you open up against the Rams, definitely not a cupcake, tough one, and a lot of elements there between the quarterback, coaching chess match, etc. Where are we going week 2, Cody? What are we doing after that? So you start off on the West Coast, LA, West Side. Where are we going now?
We're having fun, baby. As I asked for it yesterday, Monday Night Football, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Prime time home opener, back-to-back years for the Houston Texans. We all remember that fun matchup 2 years ago when Baker Mayfield took the lead late and CJ Stroud marched the Texans down the field. Tank Dell on the sideline, Tank Dell in the end zone. Bobby Slowick loved that play. Tried to call it 25 times and it never worked again. But that was a huge game for CJ Stroud, one of the best individual rookie performances in a long time. And now here a couple of years later, a little bit better Tampa Bay team. Baker Mayfield's a little bit more settled. He's got a lot of weapons on that offense. That's going to be a really fun test for the secondary that the Texans have. That's got to cut that new look with C.J. Gardner-Johnson, second year Kamari Lassiter, Derek Stingley on as the highest paid cornerback in football. That's a firepower offense coming to town. Oh, by the way, no slouch over there on defense either.
Yeah, you brought this up as a fun Monday Night Football matchup, and hell of a call by you yesterday. My goodness. So we get this a little Baker Mayfield versus CJ Stroud. D'Amico Ryans, I think he kind of has a love-hate with Baker Mayfield. I think there was maybe a point where he was down on him and then he kind of got up on him if you're just kind of reading between how he spoke. But Baker's had success against him. This is kind of the tier of games that I talked about where there's serviceable quarterbacks, but they have potential for D'Amico to make them look stupid at home. I do think that the Texans defense can probably get after Tampa Bay, but as far as the appeal, the overall buzz, I would say week 1, we had a lot of buzz, like individual storylines, not a lot here, just a good old football game between two division winning playoff ball clubs.
And that's currently scheduled for 6 p.m., which means that's going to be the first half of a Monday Night Football doubleheader, it seems.
Yeah, and I said this when you told me this was a Monday nighter. I was like, they must be having a lot more doubleheaders or something like that, because this just doesn't seem like something they would just normally pick. So this might be part of ESPN trying to get their package going, the new Disney Plus type of thing. But yeah, so you have a Monday night game. Hey, don't threaten me with a 6 o'clock Monday Night Football game. My goodness. But I'm probably gonna have to get there a little bit early because I don't want to mess with 5 o'clock traffic on that day. But that's just a personal problem.
I mean, that works out perfect we'll do a little SNL for you to get you ready for Monday Night Football. That'll be great.
Week 3 at Jacksonville against the Jags, the Travis Hunter experience. We get our first look at him. We get a first look at their head coach, Liam Cohen. We don't know what that's going to look like. Trevor Lawrence coming off the shoulder surgery. I'm sure there's going to be like some sort of grasp or some sort of narrative of what's going on there. Obviously, a team that sucked last year, won the division a few years back. First division game at Jacksonville, so you get to go on the road early in the season against Jacksonville, against a Jags team that had a pretty good offseason, and they might have the most appealing national storyline ball player in Travis Hunter. So we'll get our first look at Travis Hunter week 3 at Jacksonville.
I have to imagine if Travis Hunter is going to be playing both ways, he maybe hasn't figured it out by week 3. Feels like that's something that he'd have figured out later on in the season. There's also, look, I got to imagine there'll be a little juice to the Jacksonville fans, the 20,000 that show up to watch this game, with Azeez Al-Shire and Trevor Lawrence last year. So that's another element too. But maybe with that lingering, you can have they've said it before. I don't remember exactly who said it. It's hard to go to Jacksonville and play at noon. There's no energy. There's no juice in that place. You got to bring your own juice. Well, Azeez sacking Trevor Lawrence early would bring plenty of juice for that defense.
Oh yeah, there you go. So Azeez returns to the scene of the crime. That's the number one storyline right there. That's a hell of a get by you. And I would anticipate introducing the Texans defense would maybe get a little bit of juice going in that stadium. So maybe Jacksonville decides to trot their offense out of the time. Shire has to return to the scene of the crime, to the booze out there in Duval.
Yeah. Yep. Perhaps.
Week 4, Warren Moon's chosen son, and a local lad, Cam Ward. Cam Ward will be in town. We'll get our first look at him. We'll see how the Titans start. I think they're either going to be awful or bad. And that's going to be a week 4 matchup against the Tennessee Titans, of course, at noon on CBS. James Lofton has strong potential to call this one. But yes, the Tennessee Titans are coming to town. Get your first look at Cam Ward and the stanky one. It's going to be smelly out there in the streets, because the stanky one, Amy Adams Stank, coming back to H-Town.
Wanted one of the Tennessee matchups early, and earlier than week 4, but even still, just the first month of the season as everybody kind of gets into it. They've got a bad offensive line. I don't like their coach. They don't really have a lot of weapons to get excited about from like a supporting Cam Ward standpoint, this could be pretty similar to Caleb Williams last year when Caleb Williams got that early crack at the Texans and it looked terrible. The unfortunate aspect is you look at the opponents here through the first 4 weeks. I mentioned the Rams is a tough defensive line. Obviously, the Buccaneers is a tough defensive line. Jacksonville's, not tough, but, like Josh Hines-Allen and Trevon. And then you got the big nasties in the middle, Jeffrey Simmons and Tavondre Sweat. If you've not figured out that interior offensive line, they can really affect things week 4 early on. And you've got a pretty tough start for this makeshift, remade, revamped, retooled offensive line. And the Titans defensive line is a tough opponent for them.
Yeah, that was a defensive line that kind of roughed up a lot of teams last year early on, and then they kind of wore out. So we'll see what that looks like with the Titans. The last time they came here, they won, as you mentioned. I do think you're being extra polite right now because you said you don't like their coach, you hate their coach. Let's just be very clear about it.
I don't hate him. He just doesn't have anything to him. He's a nothing. He has no presence. He has no energy. Like
Your Honor, I rest my case.
I don't hate the man. I just don't think much of him.
Week 5, a team that D'Amico Ryans has never beaten. They are 0-3 against them. The Baltimore Ravens. We got to go there. You got to do it at noon. You got to do it on CBS. Pretty familiar. Not a lot has changed storyline-wise in regards to this matchup. It's pretty clear. I think the theme will be, can you get over the hump and get the monkey off your back and actually beat this squad? But it's really not much has changed with how you look at the Baltimore Ravens the whole time during the D'Amico Ryans era, really. So this one kind of writes itself. But you do avoid at least going there when it's miserably cold, which I guess you can take the small victories whenever you want. It's like playing Rafael Nadal on grass instead of clay. Yep. You get them early, so good for you.
Well, yet again, I mean, this is another tough defense for this offensive line. It's another tough defense for Nick Caley and his new offense. But let's see if D'Amico Ryans' defense is, taking that next step, if it's going to that next level. We'll know if they have the potential to go to that next level if they're sitting here through 4 weeks and they've done really well and they go to Baltimore and they also have some success against Baltimore. I have to imagine there's plenty of guys that remember how pathetic and embarrassing Christmas was. And they do not want to have anything close to that performance, especially as a defense. So there's a little bit of energy for week 5 at Baltimore. Not only have these guys kicked your teeth in last year, they swept you the previous year, sent you home in your first trip to the playoffs with D'Amico Ryans. Like, there's a lot here. It's just another day at the office for the Ravens, but it means a little bit more for the Texans.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a rally cry. I don't think it's going to be something that's minimized. As a matter of fact, I think the chips are going to be put on the table when it comes to acknowledging just how embarrassing that was. And I think if you want to really get the pulse of that, I think you walk in to the locker room, you take a left and you go all the way down. I think Will Anderson's going to really, really be preaching just how embarrassing that game was week 5. Week 6, we got a bye week. You got the early bye week, which is what they wanted. I think this was probably the most joyful reaction that they gave in that building whenever the schedule was put out. You got your bye week, week 6. So there you go. A normal bye week. You don't have to just gut it out. I think it's not right down the middle. It's like right in the thirds. If we're cutting it, you know how that everyone likes to cut it into fourths. Let's just cut it into fifths and then extra 2. So whatever.
But thirds works because you get 6 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 weeks.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. So there's your bye week. If I had like one small gripe, I would have loved the bye week to be week 8 versus week 6. It's a small thing, not that big a deal. And then you get the extra day coming out of the bye week because you're back again on Monday Night Football, Landry. 2 Monday Night Footballs in the first 2 months for the Houston Texans. This one,
weird.
A little twist to it.
Little weird opponent, a little twist. It's an ESPN Plus game.
It's not on ESPN. It's not on ABC. It's an ESPN Plus game. But you go to Seattle. You take on the Seattle Seahawks on Monday Night Football.
That's
9 p.m. start.
Why y'all doing this to us, ESPN? This is a joke. Y'all suck. Warning to the sports bars. You're going to have your ESPN Plus app ready to go. So there you go. You got Seattle in Seattle. Sam Darnold had a lot of success against you last year. I gotta think that D'Amico Ryans is going to really want to make Sam Darnold look a little bit closer to what Sam Darnold has been. You have a guy who on the other side, CJ Stroud has a hell of a lot of respect for, one of his former teammates at Ohio State in Jackson Smith and Jigba. And just a really interesting game, a 9 p.m. ESPN Plus game. My goodness, what a weird one this is.
That's a it's a 10-win Seattle team last year, but they changed their quarterback. They lost DK Metcalf. I know they added Cooper Kupp. I would probably rather have DK Metcalf than Cooper Kupp at this point. I know it means a little bit more Jackson Smith and Jigba. I don't love the Seahawks this year. This one it's a weird road setup because you're playing late and you're playing on the West Coast, but it's not some daunting opponent like some of these other matchups that you're going to have.
Yeah. Shout out to everyone that already has the ESPN Plus. I'll have it. I'll just make a subtle complaint about it as a man of the people. On the Super Chat, HDAV Traveler, Austin Jack. Shout out to you,
friend.
Mi amigo. Justin Pearson is also swarming to the soup. You ain't never Swarm says he just got off work, tuned in immediately. Be sure to go check out that Frank Ross too. I think the start of the season, it will be time to retire the damn it, Bobby. Leave the trauma in the past. I'm with you. I've been trying to. It's just a very popular thing, and it comes up. But yeah, you're right. We'll have to figure something out. We actually had a Nick drop. I just don't know if it hits. I don't know if Nick hits yet. Quite yet.
Is this where you're going to hit the button, or
I'm trying to find it. I thought we had a Nick thing. Maybe we don't.
Is it the Nickelodeon one? You want me to just do it for the people?
No. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Yeah, we got it. It's not as easy as Damn It, Bobby. Nick. Maybe that'll hit. It's not Damn It, Bobby, but I mean, if he does his thing, we can go. Nick. I mean, yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right, so off of a little extra day because you get the bye week and then you get the long rest ahead of the Monday Night Football with Seattle. You get the short week. San Francisco coming to town, Landry, and it's going to be on Fox, and they'll be rocking the H-Town blue jerseys for this matchup.
All right, so you got D'Amico Ryans versus his mentor in Kyle Shanahan. Get ready for it. I'm not a production member of Fox, but I can guarantee you there will be the team photo with Kyle Shanahan sitting there in the back with D'Amico Ryans up front looking like this. I can assure you that will be there. 100% guarantee that's going to happen. So there's a spoiler alert for you. The team photo with the circle of D'Amico and the circle of Kyle Shanahan, it will be in attendance. And we'll get to see San Francisco. I don't anticipate San Francisco being as bad as they were last year. I do wonder, and this is always one of the elements that we talk about when we're talking about D'Amico. I do wonder what I'd kind of like to hear what he thinks of Brock Purdy, and I'd really like to see how he plays, like how he attacks Brock Purdy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It will be, man, I have to imagine he has some pretty healthy respect for Purdy. No, like it's you got to have some.
Yeah, I think
something to you to come in there and take over like Purdy did.
A guy that practices like that, I think he's always going to respect. I don't think he had much admiration for Trey Lance in those practice habits, but I think there's always going to be respect. And quite frankly, I think he respects Kyle enough to. If Kyle likes you or respects you enough, he's going to respect you by default. So. There's going to be the D'Amico Ryans, Fred Warner. All right, let me just give you the spoiler alert in production. Fred Warner talking about how D'Amico's like the favorite guy. You're also going to have my favorite guy in the world, to hear talk, one of them. And I think he is just the biggest bro ever. And he might not admit it, but I think he's on that
high-grade marijuana called Kush on the streets.
You're going to have Nick Bosa like, yeah, D'Amico's the best coach that I've ever played for. He was really good. I like him. So there's going to be a lot of love from San Francisco to D'Amico. So they're going to play that up, and it's going to be an interesting game, and it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Quite frankly, this is not like, this is kind of localized, but I want to see what San Francisco looks like without Deebo Samuel in the offense. Like, what does that look like? Is Ricky Pearsall like just he could be one of the breakout guys this year? Like, what does he look like? What does their receiving group look like? How does Christian McCaffrey bounce back? Is Trent Williams still have any ball left? So it'll be kind of interesting to see, and we'll have a good grasp, I think, by week 8, at least somewhat, of what they're going to look like. I'm excited about seeing what San Francisco's got going, but the storylines are obvious.
And here's another element of week 8. By that time, Christian McCaffrey's had plenty of time to get hurt.
Come on.
What?
Are you taking him first in fantasy if you have the number 1 pick?
Hell no. I'm taking Jamar Chase.
All right, there you go. Week 9. This was one that I thought could have been prime time.
One comment here. We got a super chat. I want to get to it real quick. Doyle says, every one of these games on different services makes Sunday Ticket not worth it. Yeah, so they got a few.
Yeah, Sunday Ticket's got some obstacles now.
Yeah. So you got
a lot.
You got the Monday Night Football games that aren't there. And then you've got the Thursday night and the Sunday night game, which we haven't got to yet, but we'll get to in just a second. But outside of that, they should be on. So you're missing 4 of them.
Yeah, it's a wild.
Well, let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. You're missing 4 with the potential to miss 6, depending on what happens in week 17 and week 18.
Yeah, the flex.
Because those are TBDs. So,
hit them with the flex. Yeah, hit them with the flex.
I think you put it the right way. There are some challenges to the Sunday Ticket these days.
Week 9, I'm excited for this one. The Denver Broncos, Bo Nix, Sean Payton, they're kind of in the same position the Texans were this time last year. What are they going to do? Are they going to take the next step? Or are they going to come tumbling down? They got a tough division. Where are the Chiefs going? Are they going to take? Are the Chiefs gonna go down? We'll get to the Chiefs in a second. The Chargers, where are they at? Raiders, did y'all get better or not? Denver's going to be, I think, good, but I'm not sitting here guaranteeing that Bo Nix is just gonna not struggle a little bit more than he did his rookie season. If it happened to CJ, I think it can happen to old Bo. I think
that if CJ Stroud can get figured out by the NFL and there can be some defense is ready for him.
You just fired people up saying that.
Certainly that can happen with Bo Nix. Couple of D'Amico guys that played really well for D'Amico Ryans over on that Denver defense now.
Well,
Greenlaw and Hafunga.
I heard, Greenlaw lost a leg.
Yeah, no, he's only got 1 leg these days, but still pretty good.
No, I heard that he got it amputated. Then I heard that it wasn't that serious. Then I heard he'd be ready for camp. Then I heard he was going to start out on PUP. We got to see that leg before we start saying Greenlaw is going to be out there.
Okay, well, we'll know by week 9 certainly what he brings to the table. But Hafunga is a really good player. They got one of the first round. I mean, you and I both love this player, Jade Barron. I mean, that was their first round pick, and that's a really nice addition for them. And they got a couple of pass rushers that can bring some heat. No, by the way, if Derek Stingley ain't the best cornerback in football for you, the best cornerback in football will be in this game. It'll be number 1 and number 2, no matter how you want to order it. Pat Surtain in this matchup. So.
That is a storyline for sure. Caleb says the home opener being at 6 p.m. is a problem.
You're not wrong about that.
Not just at 6 p.m. Monday at 6 p.m.
Yeah. We might need the local government to step in and just kind of clear the way for everybody who needs to get to the game.
Gustavo says meth streams coming in clutch, paying all these subscriptions. What home game should I don't know. What home game should you attend? I think you should attend the San Francisco game. They don't come to town very often, man. Like, it's an iconic brand, man. I would say San Fran.
That should be a good crowd game because there should be some San Fran fans there.
Travel, bro.
And then H-Town Blue game as well. So
Yeah, I would say San Fran. So where are we going next, Cody? We got Denver. Where are we going next?
This is the end of the 3-game homestand. So you had San Fran, then you had Denver, and then you finished that 3-game homestand that you're right there in the middle of your schedule with the Jacksonville Jaguars again. So your second crack at Jacksonville here in week 10. I would say by then we'll know exactly how much Travis Hunter's doing on offense and defense. Like we'll have a really good sense of how they're using him. That's also enough time for Trevor Lawrence to get hurt because that's kind of what he does sometimes. So we'll see. Then they got an iffy offensive line too, so they've probably shuffled their O-line a couple times by week 10. So there you go.
Oh my goodness, man. All right. So the Jags, we've already talked about that. Week 11 at Tennessee against the Titans. Good old Nashville. Yeah, so you're knocking out these division. You're knocking out the two-piece of Jacksonville and the Titans, but before even the second half of the season, it looks. What are we at? We're at 10. Like, nah. I mean, a little damn near
past midway
season. Little right there. So if you're in a battle with I'm not going to say the Titans, but if you're in a battle with the Jags, it's going to be indirect. If you're in a battle with the Colts, then fasten your seatbelt.
Well, and it's decent weather too. Nashville can get really cold, and Nashville can get rainy and nasty towards the back end of the year. So decent weather here for the Texans in this matchup.
Week 12, the last time they came to town, it was a beatdown. Josh Allen, one of the worst games of his career. The Texans versus the Bills, Thursday night football, 7:15. Al Michaels will be falling asleep in the booth, and the Buffalo Bills will be in town, 7:15. This is going to be Battle Red Day against Josh Allen. So this is good. You get a good team on a short week. They have to come to your place. This is always an advantage. If you're going to have a Thursday night game, you don't want it against a dog-butted team like the Tennessee Titans. You don't want it against one of the worst teams on your schedule. You want to make, again, might not be a right time to play him. It's Nadal on clay, Nadal on clay versus Nadal on grass. Good chance you could lose either way. But if you're going to play a good football team, Thursday, your place, short week, 12 weeks into the season, ideal.
Yep. We'll know a lot about Buffalo by then too. Like I know that I still feel like there's some figuring out with their passing game. I know how they run the football. They give the ball to Josh Allen, let him run the damn ball, and James Cook runs the ball. Like I understand that, but they've still got to fine tune and figure out exactly what they're doing with their passing game. Worth noting, last year, Khalil Shakir, who is one of the things that makes their passing offense go, he didn't play in the game against the Texans. Probably one of the reasons Allen stunk so bad. So if he plays in this one, could be a different one. But as far as advantages go, Thursday on the short week, that's pretty good. And I would be interested to know exactly what Buffalo is doing the week before they play the Texans. So if they, maybe they got 2 tough ones in a row. So I'm going to pull up their schedule real quick while we think about that.
Yeah, Buffalo. Maybe they're coming off the bye. Who knows?
No, so
laid out.
One of our listeners sent me an email, and he did sort of the how many teams are coming off a bye and the rest and this and that. So the Titans are the only team the Texans play coming off a bye. So, they play Tampa the Sunday before they play the Texans.
Okay. I don't know what's that ooh mean for you. Translate that ooh.
Well, tough? Tampa's a tough team.
Yeah, they can be physical for sure. Week 13. Where the Hoes at? Where the Colts at? Is this ooh worthy?
No.
Colts at Indianapolis, noon, CBS, week 13.
It's a game worth going to
against them. Yeah, this is a good one to go to. This is under the radar.
It's a game worth going to. You'll know exactly who the quarterback is, or they're playing quarterback musical chairs because both guys have gotten a crack by now.
Yeah, Daniel. I think it's going to be Daniel Jones throughout the season, but you never know. We will adjust accordingly. Look, with the Colts, I mean, it's really been the same. It's the same type of thing. They've just been in quarterback health ever since Andrew Luck was gone. We think we're going to see another quarterback. I would anticipate it's Daniel Jones, but you never know. week 13, we'll know what the Colts are. And we'll have a decent idea what the Texans are. And this will be the first of their 2 matchups. Then we go week 14. Kansas City Sunday night football.
Off Thanksgiving, by the way. So they play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, and they get the little mini break ahead of playing you.
So Kansas City with the 10 days rest. By the way, Kansas City plays on Thanksgiving and Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. Which
they do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And they have to go to Brazil. So yeah. Or wherever they have to go somewhere. So we'll see what goes on here. But my God, you got the Chiefs Sunday Night Football in Kansas City. This speaks for itself as well. A team that you played pretty close twice last year. Haven't been able to get over that hump, but this one kind of writes itself. We know who all the stars are, and we know what's happened when these 2 teams have played.
Yeah, and it's December. It's going to be cold. It's by that time of the year. It's a bad weather game. So schedule makers didn't do you any favor on this one. I would have preferred to swap Kansas City and Baltimore, but you can't get everything you want.
Zachary says playing Buffalo with Joe Mixon instead of Akers. Awesome.
From your lips to God's ears, I sure hope so.
Next we have everybody's favorite small quarterback, Kyler Murray. Now, is there a Call of Duty coming out around Christmas? Is there a Call of Duty coming out around Christmas?
No, you want to get them in October. That's when he usually is the most distracted.
Okay. That's when COD comes out?
Yeah, that's usually when it comes out. So no COD distraction there. Late in the year for Arizona. I'm not quite sure what to make of the Cardinals. I don't have strong feelings.
I have them as I will have a wager on the Cardinals making the playoffs this year.
Wow.
I will. They play hard. I like Jonathan Gannon. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have a breakout year. Now, is he going to turn into Kyle Pitts? Probably not. It's going to happen, right? Right. But yeah, I'll have a wager, right? By the way, where's Kyle Pitts on your board this year in fantasy? He's a 4th or 5th.
Not on it.
But yeah, so Arizona, D'Amico has a lot of history with Kyler Murray, and he has a lot of respect for Kyler Murray. So last time they were here, it was a close game, and the Texans ended up getting the job done. It feels like it's pretty interesting whenever the Texans take on the Cardinals. So,
and a couple of years ago, Kyler was. That was after he got the late start because of an injury, right? So
yeah, it was coming off.
He wasn't even close to what peak Kyler is, though. He has weeks where he's one of the supernovas at quarterback, and then there's weeks where you look around and you're like, why isn't he doing more? So he's a very roller coastery quarterback.
Yeah, he's hard to predict. Week 16 versus the Raiders, 325 CBS. Geno Smith, that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what type of ball club they are. They got Pete Carroll, and then they've added some star power, I guess you can say, on offense. So the Raiders will be.
We're dropping star on Ashton Genty already.
Yeah, I mean that's star power. It's appealing, right? No,
I mean I don't know star power. I don't know about that.
No, I think it's star power. It's appealing. I'm intrigued.
I can't wait to see how they try to defend.
Did I
Brock
oversell
Bowers,
that?
though.
Did I oversell that?
I thought you oversold it a little bit.
I think he's a star. Geno Smith. I mean, Geno Smith's a bigger star. Geno Smith's a bigger star than Gardner Minshew.
Agreed.
So they added star power on offense.
Geno Smith's not a star, though.
Yeah, but he's more of a star than Gardner Minshew.
No, he's more of a guy. He's not a star, though. The Raiders have 2 stars. That's
Max Crosby.
Max Crosby and
Straight
Brock Bowers.
from Colleyville Middle School.
Yeah.
And Colleyville Heritage High School. And who else?
Brock Bowers.
That's fair. And Genty, just maybe. Let's not dismiss it. Maybe.
I'm not dismissing it, but I'm not crowning him a star before he's played a game.
Okay. Fair enough. All right.
Also, can you even imagine Jalen Petrie running around trying to cover Brock Bowers?
St. Louis Rebels says Titans got no primetime games. Cam Ward irrelevant. I mean, we knew that. Did you watch the draft? You didn't even know he got picked.
If they draft Shador, they'd had 5.
Yeah, did you watch the draft, my friend? Poor young man didn't even get mentioned. Week 17, you got your wish here. You want to play in LA late in the season. You don't want to play cold weather places. You get to go to Los Angeles against the Chargers. You already know what happened the last time these two teams played. Chargers trying to take that next step. It'll be interesting to see what direction that goes. And I am sure that what happened in the playoffs last year will be mentioned a time or 7 throughout the broadcast.
This feels very much like a game that could help decide not only where the Texans are in the AFC pecking order, but also where the Chargers are in the AFC playoff pecking order, because it's not going to be easy to make the playoffs in the AFC. And we believe the Texans, I think today, we believe the Texans are going to still win the AFC South. It's going to be a little bit more difficult than it has been.
It's be tough.
But I still believe they're going to win the AFC South. So, if you've pulled an upset of the Chiefs or the Ravens, or if one of those teams has taken a step back, could you adjust your seeding with a victory over the Chargers here at the back end? And then for the Chargers, if they're sitting there with 9 wins, they need to get to 10 to get that last playoff spot. Like, it's not going to be easy against the Texans, and it should still be playing for everything territory in week 17. Whereas I don't know exactly if that's going to be the case in week 18.
Which week 18, God, is this? This is kind of familiar. You're taking on the Indianapolis Colts to end the season. We saw this when the Texans lost. They lost control of the number 1 pick. We saw this the very next year, D'Amico Ryan's first year, where the Texans clinched a playoff berth with the win over the Indianapolis Colts in a really exciting one. And we're going to get to see it again. Final game of the season, week 18. So 3 times in the last 4 years, this has been the final game that the Texans play. So there you go. A tradition like no other. Texans Colts, week 18.
It's especially if you're still in a fight for playoff seeding, or if you're in a fight for a playoff spot, having 3 of your final 4 games at home is a huge advantage. It's a huge advantage.
Yeah. I think the schedule, I know you have more primetime games, but I think it's much more comfortable than it was last year. And I think the Hall of Fame game as well. It's about right.
You can navigate it. Like it's a navigatable schedule that, like, you don't have to make some sort of special plans for. Like, the only super weird, unique thing is the late start against Seattle.
Yeah, this is laid out really nicely. And I think, there's no like real tough stretch. Like, I mean, they're tough. Let me make this clear. You know who your opponents are. So it's, who they are. I feel like there's nice separation between what you would consider the top tier opponents and the second tier opponents, and the teams that you feel are winnable matchups. I feel like there's nice separation between them.
And to have 2 teams like the Raiders and the Cardinals late that could be out of playoff contention, and they're just playing for pride there at the end, though I know you think the Cardinals could be a little bit better maybe than I do. Like, that's a positive too, because playing for pride teams, they might play hard, but they don't play as hard as teams trying to make the damn playoffs. So, and I can't imagine the Raiders in year 1 of Pete Carroll are sniffing a playoff spot. And, maybe I see it for the Cardinals, but probably not.
You never know. It does happen in the league where teams surprise you.
Your 3 preseason games, by the way, in case you're wondering: August 9th on the road at Minnesota, August 16th, NRG Stadium against Carolina, and then August 23rd at Detroit for the final preseason game.
Damn, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young jersey swap coming through.
After they each play one series.
Dress rehearsal, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young jersey swap coming through.
I would very much like joint practices with the Lions.
Yeah, I would like it. See, you kind of scared me there because I kind of got terrified because the last time that they had joint practices with the Lions, that fat ass almost broke my leg. So yeah, I would be okay
Matt Patricia.
with it.
Matt Patricia almost ran you over with his
Yeah.
ATV.
Yeah, driving around in his four-wheeler, bumping in, almost broke my damn leg. Yeah, so Dan Campbell, at least, I'm assuming he's not going to get on a four-wheeler and act like he's Stone Cold Steve Austin and throwing beers at Vince McMahon or something like that. So, yeah, but whenever the Lions are there, forgive me if I have a little PTSD from remembering that dude almost breaking my damn leg.
Tristan with the super chat. Y'all forgot the scheduled Saturday 3:30 wild card game.
Yeah, we did. But we did we that'll definitely come up.
Who's really forgetting it, you know?
Yeah, did we?
Who's really forgetting it?
That's a Bill Goldberg type streak. So, yeah.
Okay, so Battle Red against the Bills, H-Town Blue against the 49ers. Another H-Town Blue against the Raiders, maybe?
Sure.
Or if you wanted to
Are we still doing the H-Town Blue thing? Like, is that still?
That's what I call the jersey colors.
No, I know. Are they still really, really pushing that?
I mean, the name of the game theme is repping H-Town. So
I feel like Amy Adams kind of backed down from it. So you just got to let the Oilers uniforms rest now. They're dead, and you just kind of. I feel like the beef. I feel like the Amy Adams like uniform beef has died.
I'd like the Battle Reds on December 21st. So Battle Reds near Christmas, all red.
All red's tough, man. That's a very polarizing decision.
Or maybe red helmet, red tops, white pants.
Yeah, the all red is very polarizing. It creates quite the dialogue on the internet.
And by the way, the home opener will be the all whites.
Those are the best.
I wish they'd mixed and matched a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't like the homes, like the normal homes. I think they're kind of whack. Not enough of a change. But I like the all whites. I think the all whites are the best.
It's a shame we couldn't get the Buccaneers and the creamsicles.
They rock those.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to rock them week 2 on the road.
Nah, they'll wait till home. Those are kind of like the ultimate. I don't want to say it's hipster, but it's like everybody thought they were the most ass ugly things in the world, and then as soon as they went away, now they're like almost like polarizing. I think the Astros. I think a lot of revisionist history when it comes to the way in which the Astros uniforms are looked at now versus how they were at the time.
Okay,
don't you think? Don't you think they hit a little harder? Like, did you think Mike Scott and Nolan Ryan were really just pulling it off like crazy in those unis? I know I'm making a lot of boomers mad.
I like the blue with the gold star that a lot of people seem to hate for a while.
Yeah, why are those so hated?
And then it's kind of made its way back around, and now people like it a little bit more.
Same with those Rockets pinstripe, the Charles Barkley era.
Cartoon?
I love those, man. People hate on those.
I saw there's like this company that does they sell just basketball shorts, and they sell the Rocket styled pinstripe shorts. I was like, that might be a little pickup there.
Yeah, those are in. Yeah, I'm not. I thought the H-Town Blue thing was done, but there you go. So there's the schedule. It is dropped, and really just laid out pretty nicely.
Not too many things to bitch about on this one.
No, it's a good schedule. I think it's probably the way that they would have wanted it.
And you don't have too many opponents. One of our listeners, Jim, did the kind of the look through on who has rest before, and the Texans stuff. You don't have too many opponents coming off of like big rest advantages or anything like that. So,
by the way, speaking of people, we got Patrick sent us the Chinese food power rankings. We need to incorporate that during a slow time and do like fortune cookies or something like that for the Texans, like players or something like that, like vague fortunes.
Oh, don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you should be in charge of the fortune cookies, but we should incorporate his Chinese power rankings, Chinese food. It was good.
Okay. Yeah, it was.
I don't want that to waste. That was a hell of an effort.
He went through. I've already like printed it out and like started highlighting things, so it hadn't gone to waste for me. It certainly hadn't gone to waste for me. I started circling dishes the moment he sent it over. Oh, didn't know they had that circle.
He went authentic, man.
Yeah, he's like, this is where it came from. This is how authentic it is. This is how authentic it isn't. This is where you can get it. I mean, it's great.
So, do we have a record prediction for the Texans early? Is there like a way too early record prediction for you? And it's subject to change once the season gets closer. Are you just going to be safe and go 10-7? Three-peat 10-7, D'Amico?
Man, I don't know if that would be. Is that a? I don't like that. I don't like 10-7. I have not gone and played the win-win loss game yet.
Yeah,
I think there's like 5 days you should play the win-win loss game. I think it's today. I think it's just a random day in the summer when you miss football. I think it's the day training camp starts. I think it's the day like the NFL season starts, and then it's the day of your first game. It's like there's like 5 times. And then you just keep track of them. And then you look over the course of the year and you're like, man, I was an idiot. I can't believe I thought they were beating Baltimore. Like
Thrill Ben Spoke says 2 Monday night games being doubleheaders sucks. The NFL hates us. I don't get that. What does that mean? So they should have put you at like Sunday at noon. I don't get that. They put you on national TV, right? I guess the ESPN Plus. Is that a
I bet they
or something?
I bet they don't get Buck or Aikman for either of them.
Oh, okay. They'll get like Louis Riddick.
It'll be Orlovsky, Riddick, and Fowler.
During my time in the NFL.
Maybe Dan Orlovsky will finally tell us what the organization did to Deshaun Watson that was so heinous that he couldn't say on television.
God. He lost his credibility there. Between that and the Justin Fields like complete change of your analysis because you got bullied, he lost all credibility there. That was wild.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So that's the schedule. That is the schedule special here. Landry Locker, Cody Stoots. Shout out to everyone who partook in the Frank Ross interview earlier today and donated. Frank Ross actually really appreciated it as well. We're over $1,000 in the donations, and it's going right to his charity. So very much appreciation for y'all. A lot of optimism. It does seem like 12 dubs is the popular number in the chat, although this is a Texans channel, so I'm assuming Texans fans are feeling good about the Texans. So there you go.
A lot of 12s, a lot of 11s. I've seen a 13 or 2. So some optimism. No 9s. That's good.
I like Joe Buck. Someone says I'm fine with no Joe Buck. Joe Buck's awesome. He's the man.
He's really good on football.
He's great. He's great. I know it's frustrating. There's been a lot of Astros moments where it's not that great, but yeah, Joe and Troy, good team, man.
Yeah, they do a good job, but unfortunately, it seems like the Texans won't get them. They'll be getting Louis Riddick and Dan Orlovsky and not Reese Davis, Chris Fowler.
Yep.
That broadcast team sucks. God.
Louis Riddick's just so focused on trying to separate himself as like smart. It is so it's just so smuggy. It's hard to say. When he first started, he was like so like into it, but now he's just like so smuggy and everything is like he invented football. It's a tough listen. I know. And then he'll be like, I put in the work. He'll go on X. He'll be like, when you put in the work, you show people how it's done the right way. This is the right way to evaluate the draft. It's just like, good Lord, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Louis Riddick. Never mind. I'm
looking at the schedule one more time.
Louis Riddick could be hooking up with a model and he would be closing his eyes, acting like he was in junior high with the Playboy magazine, or in junior high looking at himself in the mirror.
He probably just has a mirror when he's doing it.
He thinks about himself when he's hooking up with a model.
He just got the mirror and he just flexing in it. and then in the back, like he sees himself in the mirror, and then when he looks a certain way, he can see his draft board from the previous draft.
It's crazy. What is Fan Appreciation Day? Derek's talking about they dropped Fan Appreciation Day for Space City. I don't get it. What does that mean? What was Fan Appreciation? What did they do? What was so like?
A lot of stuff to fans.
Oh yeah, well, a lot of stuff. So now it's Space City. What does that mean? Is it the same?
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Riddick thinks he should be employed by a team. Yeah, I get it. I can see that.
Yeah, it just simply says Space City as the theme for the game.
But are they still going to do the same stuff? They just kind of changed the name of it, or
I don't know. Despite constantly being accused of working for Texans PR, I actually don't.
Wait, you did get accused of that? By who?
You, like 2 weeks ago.
What?
Yeah.
No, that was a different argument. That argument was about a trade. Why are you bringing up old stuff? That was about a trade.
I was making a joke. You wanted to know the answer. I called my shot, J.J. Watt, on the Baltimore Ravens game for the Texans. Week 5.
We'll see how it goes.
That's the first time we get J.J.
It's the first time we get old J.J. My goodness, the Celtics are showing some pride. Celtic pride is alive.
And then we're getting Spiro Ditas in week 4.
Appreciate the warning.
Exquisite. You've not hated yourself more than when you have bet on a college basketball team and they're getting their doors blown off and Spiro Ditas is sitting there calling the game, losing it for the
I have.
Team. Like you have not.
I have
not hated yourself till that.
Yeah, I have. And it was it's when Spencer Tillman is calling your team when you're losing. Yes. When Spencer Tillman is calling a game and your team is losing, it is brutal. Even when they're winning, it's kind of bad, but it is brutal.
Boy, when you said the Celtics were showing some pride, I mean, my God, can the Knicks can they just finish this thing, please? Golly.
Someone bet on the Knicks. All right. Anyway, appreciate everyone for rolling through.
2 alternate lines.
Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like. That logo looks good. Be sure to ride along. Be sure to always remember when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together.
Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.